Big Boy's
Big
Neighborhood.
Boy.
All righty now, ladies and gentlemen. We've been waiting on this one right here, man. And we definitely want to welcome Truth Isabella Imani Thompson to the neighborhood.
Hey.
Welcome. How you doing there, Truth? You good? You brought your dad with you? Oh, okay. Dad is in the neighborhood as well. So let me do this, Truth Imani. Let me talk to Dad first as the opening act, and then we'll come to you, the headliner. Good deal? Be silent. Thank you. All righty now.
She's speechless.
Trae the Truth in the neighborhood, man. Welcome to the neighborhood. We've been trying to do this
a long time.
Yeah, man. Veteran and relevant at the same damn time, bro.
Gotta make it happen.
I ain't mad at you, bro. Hey, man, first off, I gotta say, as far as being in the game, you've been in for a minute. You've seen a lot of styles come and go. You've seen a lot of people come and go. You know what I'm saying? But you'll stay in power for some reason. And I think the reason is because even through all the so-called changes of hip-hop, Trae, you never got to where we were like, man, what is he doing? You know what I'm saying? As far as like style. Even with Exhale, like that's still Trae the Truth right there. Was that by design?
I think Exhale, first and foremost, is just I was at a point in my life I just needed to release a lot of energy, whether it may have been just going outside screaming loud or just speaking on it just to kind of close that book and open a new chapter. But at the same time, I was able to keep it myself, but the person who kind of keyed me up to do the project gave me the feel it's like being true to myself, but also recreating myself because now I got even more fans. You know, it's crazy. I dropped the project and seen so many people that I wouldn't even know listen to my music. Just
what do you think that is? You think that's people coming so-called late to the party? You think it's social media? You think it's the desire for new music, for real music, all?
I think it's all the above. Definitely, it's good because I stayed true to my fans by doing me, but then to others, they didn't really know how talented I was because, you know, this project is no feature, so when they hear me go from rapping to singing to different keys, different notes, they looking like, who is that?
That's what I did want to ask you about because now, man, everything is a collaboration. Everything is a feature. Even when I first looked at Exhale, I was like, okay, well, maybe he didn't list the features. You know what I'm saying?
No, in the game, they know I'm probably, I got to be top two that have done music with everybody in the industry.
Man.
There's nobody that really can hang with me when it come to that part, but this is the first time I actually did something without any features.
Why no features on this one when everything is so feature heavy?
I think two reasons. One, can't nobody exhale for me but me because nobody can really speak on how I'm feeling but me.
Easy call.
And I feel I had to just let that out. And then two, my fans always been mad at me for the past 20 years of being in the game about me not putting the spotlight just on me.
Right.
But I'm one of them people, man, I just believe in showing love, and I just like music, so I don't really look at it as it just got to be about me. But right now, at this present time, that's what it's about. Yeah.
And when I first saw the title Exhale, that means a lot. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of touched on it as well. But why that album title?
I believe at that time I needed to let it out, man. You know, when you come from the streets, like us, one of the best things we able to do as far as certain ones in the music game, really anybody, you just have to find your niche. But with me, my niche was in music. I can go in there and I can vent. I can't talk to you one-on-one and just be like, man, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, because it'll make me feel soft in a sense. So when I go in that lab and I'm able to do what I do, even without me being emotional, them records will make the people feel the emotion that I was feeling when I was letting it out. So,
but do you feel like that even with Exhale? Do you feel like that's therapeutic as well?
Yeah, everything's therapeutic, especially when you let go, because again, not only from recreating myself musically, it's also recreating a new win for me, as I guess you could say, as far as time for another round.
But you always been a person that when something happened, event happened, something in life, you always did seem like you did it yourself, like you spoke for yourself through music.
Yeah, I think the reason this project is really growing as fast as it is because I had a lot of mystique about me over the years, so I really didn't let people in. So now that they're able to be let in, now they like, bro, this man just the same as me. I was going through that situation, and I'm still going through this situation, and it helps them, and it makes them feel like they're one with me right now.
The one thing too, though, Trae, man, is that for years you always never detached. You know what I'm saying? And when I say detached, you always sound like home plate. You always felt like, you know what I'm saying? People could always put a hand on you, the right hand, like you were always approachable.
Yeah.
You always took care of the city. You know what I'm saying? And we're starting to see things now where it's like you want to be that, like with Nip. Nip was on turf. You know what I'm saying? Was on turf.
May he rest in peace.
Exactly, bro. And you're on turf. And your relationship, even on Exhale, you have a song called Nipsey.
Yeah.
And there's some people, and you know what Nip meant to you. I know what Nip meant to me. And to anyone that kind of got on Nip posthumous, that's probably when they caught up with him. I can't trip off of that. But then there are some that just say his name because they know it bring a kind of an emotion.
Yeah.
But what did you see in Nipsey Hussle so early on that made y'all really mess with each other?
It was more of a family sense. Of course, we're real similar in many ways, but not always. So, you know, we had a long, long history. And the crazy thing is the history, music was the least important to us. So our bond was just brotherhood. And not just with him, with the whole All Money In family. And I think, man, it's like, I remember just so many conversations because, you know, he came to some of the first Trae days. You know, for those who don't know what Trae Day is, that's what I do in the community. It's my 11th year that just passed. You know, I take care of all the kids in the community, all the families. You know, I make sure that they get their school supplies, school clothes, immunizations, bring animals to the hood, games, and I bring celebrities and movie stars and people that they know about that they would never be able to see or touch, you know, because they probably don't have the money to go to some of these shows or go to some of these events. And I bring them there and I put them directly in the middle of the hood where people can touch them. And, you know, it kind of inspire people in a different way and give them hope and the fact of knowing they always can count on me. And, you know, many years I was looking at some of the first Trae days because some of the footage that you see with Nipsey riding the camel and all that, that was at Trae
Day.
Yeah. So,
hey, man, with Nip being so special to so many, you know what I'm saying? And watching what you guys did early on and also hearing Nipsey, the song, you know what I'm saying? Like it's written so well, but it's written from someone that you know really cared and really knew.
And the thing is, it wasn't written as a song. It was, again, that's my form of venting. So when I did it, that was me talking to him. So as I'm talking to him, I'm in the booth doing what's what. But of course, it transpired into a song to where people can feel it. That's why people take, and you get a little of both. You get some that's happy and smiling, and you get some that's happy and hurt at the same time through the song. But one thing they do know is it's genuine, and that's my brother. But again, the reason I did it was just a form of me being able to talk to him. I felt like I had to get that off my chest, you know. That was definitely one of the harder songs on the album for me to do. And then the song that I got called Letter the Truth was the other. Those probably were the two most stressful ones that I did. But shout out to the All Money In family. Yes, before we continue the interview. Make sure y'all support the Marathon clothing, the Marathon online. You know, Nipsey got his catalog coming up soon. And all the proceeds from the song and the video goes to his trust fund too for the Nipsey song on my project. And
you shot that out here?
Yeah, I shot that out
that's
here.
when we were trying to get together as well, huh?
Yeah,
man, you definitely. And one thing about that family, like I say, man, you touch turf. And the one thing too, Trae, is that the realists mess with you. You know what I'm saying? And you don't ask nobody for nothing. And that's why even with Exhale, it was like, this is very necessary for us to sit down, for us to use our platforms together as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think in my situation, and it means a lot to me, even first and foremost, even for you to allow me in here, because at the end of the day, you do have people who've been in the game for a minute that people may feel is not important enough to pay attention to them or even care about their story. But I think even with that, man, that it's one of these situations with me, you know, I've been banned worldwide from Radio 1. This makes 10 years.
Yeah.
So in every city, every state, and it's like over the years, I've always been outcasted. I've been that black sheep, you know, even in my own town, you know, as far as in the industry side. So now it's at a point, a lot of people like, man, we can watch this man do so much, give so much, reach out to so many, from even younger artists in different markets, like to where I'm responsible for a lot of people, you know. And I think it's to the point now everybody just, they rooting for me, you know, and it's not even a situation where I got to be the truth just over here.
Right, yeah, as she should.
It's not a situation where I got to be the biggest or the most talked about, but at the same time they feel they want people to be able to appreciate me the way that they able to appreciate me. So that's why a lot of people supporting it.
Hey, Trae, being banned, you know, especially at home plate.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as much as you do for home plate, and for as long as it's been, is there an end in sight? I mean, from being banned locally throughout the company to lawsuits.
Yeah, so even with the lawsuit, it's crazy, man. I think I'm at a point now, you know, I did what I was supposed to do. I fought, and, you know, I stood on my 10, didn't fold, and, you know, I stood for everything. So the last lawsuit that was at hand, the judge who was over it didn't get reelected. So when he didn't get reelected this first time, he's not going to be on the bench. He dismissed every case that was on his dock. So it was like, do I even want to go through the trouble of going through these appeals?
So you got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, definitely got lost in the shuffle. And it's, you know, I feel like, you know, being banned, it was a gift and a curse anyway, because it gave me a new form of a hustle and a new dedication to getting at it, you know.
But also, Trae, we look now and we'll say, like, you know, radio is needed or it's wanted. Is it needed? Yeah, it helps. You know what I'm saying? But you got to think 10 years ago, we weren't all on Instagram where we could just say, here's my album. And you know what I'm saying?
We didn't have none of that.
Yeah, so that's even harder at the time when you got this band, when radio is, you know, the king of getting things out, man.
So I weathered the storm. The first couple of years was hell. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And, you know, I lost a lot. I lost a lot of family. I lost a lot of people that I thought was in my corner, because you go from being at the top of your game to losing everything, you know. And it's so crazy. A lot of people say my story remind them of Job in the Bible. So Job, she called him somebody.
Yeah.
Job, to where he lose everything, but he still, at the end of the day, he never lost faith in the man up above. And that's the same with me. And now look at me, you know, I'm still here, more relevant than people who had #1 record, which I've never had one. So, you know, we make it happen.
Hey, man, I do got to ask you about the little one that's sitting with you now.
Yeah, this is my baby.
Yeah,
told
man.
Me we bumped into her in L.A. one day.
Yeah. Oh, my God, yes. Remember, I was like, man, I just met the shining star, bro. Like the shining star. Is that your first?
My first daughter.
First daughter. Oh, yeah.
3 boys, and this is my first girl.
Really? Is there a difference? We love our kids, but is there a difference when you have your princess?
Most definitely. A lot of people say she make me smile a lot. People never really seen me smile in pictures till around the time she was born, and I post a lot of us, because we always doing something. You know, I only get her once a month. They only allow me to get her 1 week out of a month. I fly from Houston here, pick her up, fly back to Houston so I can spend time with her and make sure she get back.
I heard
But
that.
when we together, we always doing everything. And
you hold her tight too,
yeah,
bro.
So people get to see her with her feet in my face, just doing all kind of crazy stuff she do to me. So
that's real and that's real father work too, though.
Yeah, definitely. It's a process, man. And then with her, it's like I can't tell her no.
Oh, yeah.
She just,
and I'm going to tell you, my daughter is 10. She'll be 11 next month.
yeah.
I still haven't learned how to form my mouth to say no. You know what I'm saying? Even when I'm thinking, I'll be like, baby.
But you see what
Yes.
she's doing right now?
Yeah.
She don't notice it.
I know
But
what
what
she
Truth
doing.
is doing now, She's purposely, every time she give her that phone, she gonna
drop
down.
it. Yeah.
Keep throwing it.
And if I tell her not to do it, she probably gonna do it even faster.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what she do.
That's that woman thing. You know what I'm saying? She, you know, every time. I mean, she's setting it up well right now. She's setting it up well.
Now she's really just
and that's another thing, though, man. That's like it's crazy because we always feel like we gotta hustle. We gotta hustle. Yeah. You know, and then when you have your little ones, when you have your kids, that's when you really realize what the hustle is and how much more hustle you got ahead of you now.
Yeah, and you know, man, and that was the most hurtful thing about being banned, because you know my oldest son is disabled. So what we do?
How old is he, Trae?
She turned me out. Nico's 16. Mm-hmm. So what happened with Nico? You know, we formed me and his mother. We have a nonprofit, and we formed for all the special needs in the city of Houston. So we take care of a lot of them. But the point I was making too, as far as being banned, man, that was the most stressful part, because it's like in the midst of going back and forth about something that may be petty, not be petty, and I'm simply standing for what's right. Nobody was really caring if my kids was breathing, dead, if they were eating, even with my disabled son, what his situation was. So I had no choice but to come out fighting harder, swinging harder, and just weathering the storm just to make it happen. And that's what I'm continuing to do now. You know, now not only with the music, me and my partner, DJ Mr. Rogers, you know, we got Relief Gang. We're part of Simple Solutions, so we're buying back the homes in the neighborhood so we can stop a lot of the unnecessary stuff that people gonna try and do as far as getting rid of neighborhoods.
Gentrification. We see it everywhere, bro.
I'm part owner of the company Bump Box, Waves, the headphones. Of course, you know, I got my cartoon. I just put out my first comic/coloring book with my kids. You know, I keep my kids involved in everything I do. Like as far as Trae Day that just passed, and shout out to everybody that came to Trae Day. I'm still excited. I brought a giraffe to the hood, kangaroos, camels, you know.
Damn.
But
you know what I love about that is that you love the city.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
the city loves you, and you stayed there, as opposed to it could have been easy to just get up, bounce. It could have been easy, and not that the city turned on you, but just like, damn, the so-called powers that be felt like they were turning on you, but you took that without making it seem like, man, F the city.
Because I think I just work well under pressure, and my pain is what's my drive. So feeling like I don't have anything left, that's what make me go in blackout mode.
Man, when you were were you in the delivery room with Truth?
Yeah.
Alrighty. What do you sound like when you're extra excited? Were you like, oh my God, she's here?
I think everybody say my. I think everybody say my energy was the same. But I'm gonna tell you a funny story,
Look at
man.
her. I can't believe it. I'm so happy she's here.
And I'm gonna show you a video when we get off, and it's the same energy. But I remember the situation. I couldn't do nothing. Be like, oh man, that's crazy. Because what happened was when she was born, we had an agreement. You know, the doctor was like, hey, when she come out, I'm gonna give it to you. You're gonna be the first one to get to hold your baby.
I saw this.
She was halfway out. The doctor didn't even get her. The mother pulled her straight out and pulled her to her chest.
Oh, she did a lean.
So, you know, it ran me hot, but then in the background, you hear me just laughing on him like that. Like, man, I can't believe you just did that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, my energy always the same.
Yeah, because I was just wondering. I'm like, man, because you're always, even when we just highlighted, it's like, hey, big, what's up?
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, what's happening?
Everybody, Tony Rock was in Houston, portrayed it and did it he did the charity comedy show, and that was the same thing he's saying. It's just everybody, no matter what the situation is.
Like sometimes I don't know if you happy, sad, man. Like
everybody say that.
What kind of dad is Trae the Truth? We know what kind of artist, giver, like what kind of dad?
You know what's so crazy, man? For me to be so street and so well respected, my kids run over me. Like I've never whooped my kids. I don't believe I have to, because you know I got the big brother relationship with my kids. You know, like we holler like we homies. You know, I don't really make them feel a certain way, so they can come talk to me about anything. But they know at the end of the day, whatever they ask for, even if they go to ask them 3 or 4 times, even like, man, leave me alone, not right now, they know sooner or later, like, I'm not worried about it, he gonna do it. they're more laid back. My boys, now her, I don't know how it's gonna be, man. I look, I tell people and they be like, nah, you tripping, Trae. And I be like, she gonna be the first one to probably get popped.
Like, oh, really though? Yeah, like tapped her.
Look at she paying people.
Yeah, hey, dude, she's like, yeah, bring it. Bring it on. What's the relationship with Grand Hustle and T.I. to this day?
It's, still my brother. We was with him yesterday. Yeah, we was
out here in L.A.? Mm-hmm. Boy, y'all sure didn't call me for that, but that's all right.
He was at the studio. I pulled up to him so he can see the baby.
Really?
No, we always brothers, man. Like, our relationship was always more of a brotherhood than it was music.
Right.
I kind of did my own thing musically, and of course we hustle gang, so that was a crew before anything.
And Exhale, that falls through Empire?
Yeah, through Empire. Shout out to Ghazi, Eamon, and Nima.
And being that, man, there's so much history there. And usually it's like for you to even mess with Empire, they had to bring something to the table as well.
No,
because
I don't think people know. I've been with Empire from the beginning.
From the beginning, from Empire's beginning.
Yeah, I've been with Empire. So I was with Ghazi when Ghazi was just in a one room office.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Still having CDs.
See, Ghazi
and
wouldn't
boxes.
say how much you created him.
Nah.
Oh man, all them long nights with telling Ghazi what to do. You really know. You really played it back.
Yeah,
hey, but
I would say I created them, but definitely that's the reason why my loyalty is always to them. Even when I got with Tip and them, they knew my relationship with Ghazi was inseparable, and even still, man, honestly, Ghazi helped me with a lot. Like, as far as I was at a point in my life, we young, we doing music. We taking care of business, but we not taking care of business as far as with taxes, with knowing about sound exchange and everything else. And he helped me get my business together. And at times, with me being banned, and it seemed like nobody. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
it seemed like nobody wanted to bother me. I guess the headphones came out or something.
It's wrapped around her little foot. She like, yeah.
And it seemed like nobody wanted to bother me. He took the time, like, well, if nobody else would, bro, I'll put all my money up. Let's go. And many a times he done that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a different type of a bond and brotherhood, man. So that's why they know, even though I may not be as big or outspoken as others when it come to Empire, but when you go internally, they'll tell you when it come to Trae, that's family, whatever Trae.
Did you ever get frustrated with the so-called music business, the politics, and where it almost affected you to where you didn't want to do it anymore?
No, not really, because only with the radio situation. Mm-hmm. As far as in the industry, I've always been my own man. Mm-hmm. And I've always been the man to show them, whoever you think you are, I'm that or more. Mm-hmm. So I don't need nothing from you. And I think that's what my respect level was always way above others. So I've always had relationships with the ones who I'm supposed to have relationships with, always. And I really get along with everybody. It probably may only be less than one handful that I ever just didn't care for. But most of the time, man, I'm a laid back cat, and I do my thing, until they push that button. Yeah, but I think that's anybody,
and that's life.
Yeah.
Hey, man, and when we were kind of speaking on being with Ghazi, or taxes, looking at certain things, when you look at our genre of hip hop now, and people are coming in early, there's different ways to get in now. Not how concerned, like, what do you tell some of the younger ones that's just getting in? Like, for one, some of them don't care about hip hop. You know what I'm saying? You want to look up and it be 20 years later for them as well. What do you say to the younger ones that's coming in?
I mean, one, you got to stay grounded. First and foremost, I tell them always stay themselves. So before we get to the business, a lot of people fall into that cloud of trying to compete with the next man and do what they doing, and they'll leave what originated them, what they came into the game trying to be, or the vision that they had trying to follow everybody else. So definitely stay yourself, because what happens is when they finally convert over to them, that wave may be done, and it might have been crossing back to what you originally started for, but now you got to try and catch back up with that. So always stay yourself. And business-wise, man, you got to understand it's always fun, but it's about longevity.
Yeah.
And think about it. It's not easy for me to say I've been here 20 plus years and been banned 10 of those years worldwide, and still probably one of the most respected and relevant ones out there, because a lot of them, they come into the game and they don't really have kids. So a lot of stuff change when you go to have kids because you got to think legacy. You got to think setting your situation up for the future for them. And, you know, a lot of people don't, as they're younger, they don't really hit them like that. You know, they still be out here doing all kind of crazy stuff. That's why you got big homies like myself that got to pull their coattail. Like, look, man, that ain't the way to move. You know what I'm saying?
How do you know, how does social media affect you? Like when you at one point we used to look at Source Magazine for certain mics, or it was a music critic. Now everybody is on your screen either loving or hating. Do you look at any of that?
I think the bigger and bigger I get, the less I will. But I've always been blessed and respected to where if you ever go to my page, you probably never really see hatred. And if you do, it's one in the blue moon, and probably all my people going to attack them right off the rip. You know what I'm saying?
Do you use a lot of social media now?
Mainly Instagram. And everything that go on my Instagram is everything that go on my Instagram is Twitter. I don't really know. To this day, I don't know how to use Facebook. They just showed me how to copy and paste from Instagram to paste on Facebook. But
it's a new day with it. We got to do everything now, though, bro. Even with radio, our radio show has become a TV show. You know what I'm saying? But you stay afloat, man. And the one thing with you,
speaking of that, man, they actually write my book. The homie J. Kyle, he did Set It Off. He did the Snoop Dogg play. Oh. They're actually doing my book now because they want to get ready to do a movie on just my life story. You know, I got a very, very interesting story, you know, which I kept private most of the time, but they didn't convince me to go ahead and let the world in as far as a book.
Hey, man.
I'm just going to let you have these.
And what about you pulling the bullet out your shoulder?
Yeah.
So that bullet had been in there. Was it?
You know, it's so crazy. People don't know. So when I got shot, I didn't get help at the hospital. I got took in the hospital, but it's every bit of 100+ dudes outside. So the hospital never experienced that. So they locked the hospital down. They were paranoid. They were like, well, whatever it is.
And you said they just had you laying there?
Yeah, well, you know, it's so crazy. Not only was I laying there, some of the workers came in and asked me for pictures.
Oh, yeah, easy call. Yeah, man. And they didn't stitch you up or nothing.
Nah, so what happened is I went home, you know, I cleaned it up, you know, and I kept cleaning it and until as far as it started scabbing up. But of course I realized the bullet was in there and I just rolled it out. And then years later, it kept, like it was I guess, I don't know how many years, maybe 5-6 years, I was waking up and I was having blood spatters on my shoulder. And each day it would get more and more. So one day I woke up and the tip of the bullet was like poking. So I called my nephew down. Here, you want to put him on? Come on. Here.
She don't like when you tell this story.
So, there you go, right here. Look.
Make sure you lower it down a little bit.
Look. See, this is what I have to deal with when she throw a tag.
Hello.
Here, see? Come on. So what happened is I called my nephew and I'm telling him, I'm like, man, I'm finna try and push this bullet out. And
is it a younger nephew? He younger?
Yeah,
you could tell because he was probably the one like, wait, hold on.
No, that's what happened. So what happened, he like, bro, no, you not. I say, yeah, I am. You say, well, bro, hold on, I'm finna record this. This finna go viral. I'm like, bro, I'm not worried about no viral. I'm finna push it out. And I went to squeezing it, and the tip of the bullet turned just a little. And I'm one of them people, you know, I can take pain. So I went to squeezing around it until it started coming out like in a circular motion, and it shot out and dropped on the counter. Yeah. And what's more crazy.
And your nephew was like, we got it.
Yeah, and what's more crazy, so the hole is probably the size of my pinky. So everybody like, man, you need to go to the hospital. I didn't go to the hospital, and I cleaned it up, and my arm is just as normal now.
Man, you better take your ass to the hospital after we finish this interview. Trae the Truth, man. Thank you for coming into the neighborhood, hanging out with us as well, man. Man, and we got to make sure that we do more of these, and even more so, man.
Y'all need to come to Trae Day. That's what we need to make that happen so y'all can come experience.
Hey man, you gonna have exotic animals out there,
Yeah,
or should I
gotta
just
do
bring
it.
Louis? Oh, okay, yeah.
Guess
For hire right now.
No, but continue to do the things that you do, man. Continue to take care of the community, bro. And you always had your foot and your hands and your mind always on turf as well, man. And it's my pleasure to have you into the neighborhood, bro. And Exhale, we advise everybody to go out and get it, bro. Trade the truth in the neighborhood, y'all. Big Boys
Big
Neighborhood.
Boy.